Welcome back. If you aren't new, welcome to the channel. If you are new, in today's video, as you guys saw in the thumbnail and also the title, we will be removing this gauge cluster because when we turn the car on, it doesn't work. Like the needles don't go up and down. I can't see if it's hot or cold, you know what I mean? So that's why I haven't dropped a radiator video yet, because I want to get this gauge cluster working so I know the car is at operating temperature and I don't have any problems with the thermostat or anything like that. So we have to get this gauge cluster working. To get this gauge cluster out, we have this tool right here. As you guys can see, you put this on the side of the gauge cluster and you will be able to pull it out. As you can see, this little hook right here, if it'll focus. But yeah, this hook right here will allow it to pull out. And then all we have to do is disconnect the wires and the harnesses and everything. And then this thing will be out. I believe it is a stepper motor. I think they go bad on these cars after a while. So we'll probably have to order a stepper motor. And then we'll be able to have everything functioning like it should. Okay, gauge cluster is now popped out. I butchered that. You're not supposed to do it like that, but it was hard to get to these hooks right here. So as you can see, they hook on like that and you're supposed to be able to pull it out. This side is a lot cleaner and a lot better. So I don't know, I might have to order a new one of these just in case we remove this again and I won't be able to get it out. So you don't want it to look like that. It's absolutely butchered, but as you can see, we got it loose now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this out. So quick tip, what I did was I just turned the key to the 2 position, pressed this down, and the steering wheel moved down a little bit. So then I'll be able to get this out a lot better. This is the back of the gauge cluster. You can see the connections. I can't really see what I have to remove yet, but I just wanted to show you guys the back of the gauge cluster. So I got the gauge cluster now removed. There is a tab that you have to push down for these connectors to come out. Let's see if I can show you guys real quick. So yeah, you want to press this tab down. So what this does is basically go like this. Press it down. See if I can do it with one hand. Press it down and then move that gray piece down and then it'll come out. Once this is moved up, it clicks into place right there. So we're good to go there. So now what we have to do is we have to look for the stepper motor. For whatever reason, like I said, when I turn the car on, the needles for the temperature, the needles for the gas, and then also the RPMs don't really register. And then this needle, or not the RPMs, but the miles per hour. And then the RPM needle kind of, it shakes, it goes up and down like that. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. We're probably gonna have to open this bad boy up. And then once we do that, we'll probably be able to see what's really going on. As you can see, these are the bulbs here. I don't think we have to change any of the bulbs. I think we just have to change whatever is going on with the needles. So I will cut you guys back on once we do that. As you guys can see, I turned the key into the 2 position. The needle is moving, jumping up and down for whatever reason. I don't know why it's doing that, but we will figure it out. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna turn the key off. And you can see it's still, for whatever reason, I don't know what that's about. It always does that though, but I don't know what that's about. And then the speedometer doesn't work, the RPMs don't work either. And then the temperature gauge does not read. So we are inside now. What I have to do is remove these tabs. We're gonna get this gauge cluster opened up because what I found out is that I have to put a resistor on the gauge that is not working. So I have to fix that with a resistor. I'm gonna use 100 millimeter or 100 ohms, sorry, 100 ohms resistor. So yeah, we're gonna figure that out with a soldering iron. So once we get this off, we'll be able to open this up some more and access what we need to fix. All right, so we have the cover off. Now we have to remove the motherboard from this housing here. Not sure how to do that, but we will figure it out. I just don't want to break anything. And guys, be careful with these gray tabs on the side. These are for your buttons. You don't want to break those, so be careful. Stay clear of these. You see how like delicate they are, so delicate they are, excuse that. But yeah, so I will cut you guys back on once we get the motherboard removed from the actual plastic housing. Okay, so we got the plastic housing removed. What I did was just pull these tabs up on each side, lift this up, and then it actually just comes right out. So this basically just sits in there. This is the one that is clipped in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this around carefully. I'm working with one hand here. Okay, so turn this around. Let's get this out of the way. So now this is turning around carefully. Make sure you guys put maybe some microfibers or something down and kind of protect it. As you can see, I kind of have this covered because I don't want any dust to go in there. So make sure you guys do that. And also to remove the tabs from this mount, I just used a flathead. So this one is the one that is moving up and down, as you guys saw. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn that around and we're going to go on this side. And then a resistor is going to go, I believe, right there on these two. I'm not sure. I'm going to double check. And then I'm going to turn you guys back on. So to cut you guys back on, this is the correct one. If you can look here, as you see, it's like sort of in a circle. And then if I were to flip this up, you can see the motor right there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to solder a resistor on this end to this end, and then that should fix our problem. That's it. That's all we have to do. And as you can see, I put another cover down because I don't want to get dust and everything on here. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to stretch this out and then cover it all. So I will turn you guys back on once I am about to solder. All right, turn you guys back on. I had soldered the resistors on each end where it was fluctuating. I don't know if this is gonna work. I already tried this side and it didn't seem to work. So I figured I'd do this side. See, it looks, I don't know what happened there. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up, but we're gonna see what happens now. All right, when I plugged it in, this stayed still. Actually, before I did the second one, the second resistor, this was actually moving up and down. When I plugged it in, it didn't do that, but this one is still moving for whatever reason. So we're going to put the key in, put it to the second position, and see what happens. Live time, I don't know what it's going to do the second time around, but the first time it didn't work. It's still doing it, even with the resistors plugged in. So I'm gonna pause you guys real quick. I did notice the miles per hour gauge is all the way turned down, which isn't good, so I'm gonna have to fix that. Don't know what's going on with this. We're gonna try it. The car has no coolant, so we're gonna be quick. Didn't do anything. Don't know what that was about. I just tried it real quick to see if the gauges will move, but they didn't. All right, second time around, we soldered it in a different location. We will see what happens. As you guys know, this one was moving. This one was really moving the most out of everything. And then that needle was turned down. As you can see, I don't have the cover on, so I turned that needle into the correct position. We're gonna see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't vibrate. Okay, perfect. It doesn't vibrate anymore, but what's going on with this? Okay, wait. Hold on. see. Let me see something. Turn this. For whatever reason, we gotta fix that. I think I fixed it. What I did was I just turned this back to this knob. As you can see, it's all the way at the bottom. Actually, let me turn this. So what you do is you push it in, turn it like that. Make sure it's all the way at the bottom. And you are good to go like that. Push it right there. Let me see. Push it all the way to my liking, really. You can hear the little clicks. Okay, and then that's good there. As you can see, nothing vibrates. Nothing on the dash. Everything doesn't vibrate. Everything is good to go. And we are good. I think we have fixed it. It doesn't vibrate anymore. Those resistors definitely did the trick. It is raining right now, and I don't want to get this circuit board wet whatsoever. So I'm probably going to leave it in here. Install it tomorrow. But this is what we're working with. I'm not sure if there's supposed to be something here. I'm not sure. I'm going to double check on that. But as you can see, everything is working perfectly fine. Nothing is vibrating. So I think we are in good shape. Okay, this is what the solder looks like. It's not the best, but it's on there, right there. Let me put you guys in 0.5. So that's your solder. It's not perfect. And we also have one over here, which is a little bit better than that. It's my first time soldering, so I kind of did a crap job, but if it works, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this whole thing together, and then I'll show you guys in the dash. Okay, this is the gauge cluster. Everything is installed in the housing. The 59, the degree sign was, it wasn't connected on that side, but it's connected now. So I'm gonna turn the key. Let's see. And we're good to go, baby. We're good to go. So I'm not sure if this needs to go all the way down. I might just leave that alone, to be honest. I'll have to look and see if that needle's supposed to be all the way down or not. I'm not sure. It might have to be. But then again, that isn't. So I think I'm just gonna leave it like this. If it operates, it operates, right? So make sure you guys drop a like, comment, share, subscribe, turn post notifications on. I will see you guys in the next video. In the next video, we will be putting coolant in this car now that we got the gauge cluster working. So yeah, this is how to fix a shaking needle on a W210 chassis E-Class, so, or W210 E-Class. So thank you guys for tuning in. Quick fix. If you don't know how to solder, take it from me. Get maybe like a practice solder board, circuit board, whatever. Instead of working on the real thing here like I did. Don't do that. Please don't do that, because it's a lot of money that you'll waste. So yeah. Thank you guys for staying tuned. Hopefully me turning the nozzle, the needle back doesn't affect this. If it does, we'll take it back out. But make sure you guys drop a like, comment, share, subscribe, turn post notifications on. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. She is working, ready to go. The needles do not shake anymore. So we're good there. And also, that fixes, it's actually reading the gas too, which is great. So we have a little under a half a tank. Nothing vibrates. Everything is perfectly fine. Once we put some coolant in this car, we'll rev it up. We'll rev it up to see if this is working properly. Temperature should be working as well once we get it started. So that's it. Thank you guys for staying tuned. If you guys have any questions or any tips that you could give me when it comes to any part of the car, considering this is a new car for me, let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. And let me know what you guys are experiencing on your gauge cluster when it comes to a W210 chassis as well, or any Mercedes that you might have, because I love to learn and we should learn together. So thank you guys.